You're going to need to make this template out of paper. I made the handle and the blade separate just to make it easier. This bottom part will be straighter, but it does come at an angle, but I know this looks a little weird down here, but that can be fixed, so no matter. But make it about the size of your hand, like shown, so you can easily grip it. Make it come straight up. The handle's pretty much straightforward, but the blades can get kind of tricky because just across the whole thing is about two lengths of the handle, just for size reference, and it would come straight across and then down at a curve. Then I drew this triangle in the middle, coming to the middle, with a line going down the middle of the blade and curving right whenever the point almost reaches from the middle. And then it doesn't go exactly to the edge, but it does go to the top, because that will be the edged part of the blade itself. That's where the sharp part, so to say. So then after you do that, we're going to draw them on to Avafoam. You're going to draw them like shown, with the bladed parts showing inwards, because you're going to want to make it so the ugly side, or the good side right here, or so that side, excuse me, is on the inside, and this flat part, what I'm putting my hand on now, is on the outside, so it'd be easier to work with. So let's say the inside, right there where my thumb is the ugly side. You're going to hold the blade like that, while that side is the good side. So you can think about it in your head and think good side on the outside. So that makes it like that, and that would not work. But if you flipped it over, so if you went like that and flipped it over, that would make the bad side on the inside. I know it might seem a little confusing, but it does take just a lot of thought. So to start cutting out the pieces, you could use an X-Acto knife, the old-fashioned way. You could just carefully cut right around the edges. Take your time, it's still a knife, you don't want to cut yourself. Or, if you have one of these tools or something close to it, this is a tool, it's like a saw, it can cut through wood, plastic, foam, basically any material. And I'm going to use that. If you have one, you can use it too. Again, it goes really fast and it's kind of hard to move, but you can get used to it. I would be very, very careful using this. I'm going to cut around these edges. Maybe if you're a beginner, might not want to cut around those middle edges where the blades are touching, like right there. But the outer edges might be fine. I'm just going to go all the way around because I do know what I'm doing with this. But I would be very cautious using this tool. Okay, now that the blades are cut out and they look nice along the edges, if you did use an X-Acto knife, depending on the sharpness of the blade just you used, there could be frays, so I would recommend using a Dremel going over it just to get rid of the frays. So when you glue them together, they don't appear, and they're really hard to get rid of. But with the machine I used, there isn't very much frays, so I'm going to go over it a little bit. But what you should do mainly is focus on the pairing up of the two pieces. And again, making sure the bad side's on the inside. Line them up to the best of your abilities, of course, and get ready to glue them. But not before doing this next step. Just get ready to glue them. To make the blade thicker on the inside and more sturdy, I had this cardboard used from the inside of a painting, or a picture frame, excuse me. I took it from the inside of a picture frame that was not needed anymore. It's really thick and sturdy cardboard. I'm going to put it on the top here, make one side of this, just one, and I'm going to put it in the middle. And again, I'm going to use that saw-like tool. Next, you will glue that piece in, and it will be off on a little bit of parts. Just take your time when you sand it down later in the video, but don't sand it down yet because you need to do other stuff, like make those lines that were from the stencil. To do that, you're going to use this, make a stencil out of it by cutting out with an X-Acto knife just the line, just around the line, basically making it a little thicker, but just cutting it out with an X-Acto knife, and around the triangle, then using a Sharpie and filling it in. Then you're going to flip it over and flip over the stencil as well and do the same thing on the other side. Now that triangle piece is actually going to technically be a part of the handle, so that will be the same raised level of the handle. So keep that in mind when you're sanding. To start creating the edge that is along the blade, you will take a Dremel and go at a 45-degree angle along it and go pretty much just about to the cardboard. And the same thing on the other side, just up to the line though. So that will make the illusion that it is sharper than the other flat part. Now, rounding the handle is as simple as it gets. You're just going to take a Dremel, go around each edge individually, make them almost like 45-degree bevels, and then continue the 45-degree bevels on those edges until it is a cylinder or a circle. Now, to get some design along the blade, I took inspiration from the same design that I'd taken from the cane by making them almost look like vines or like tree parts, and I'm just drawing loops, basically, simple loops. Now the other side, what they look like is this. Might look a little choppy at first, but they can be refined, and it will look better when it's painted. Just take a Dremel bit from a pencil, it's like a thicker pencil bit, circle, cylinder, whatever bit, and carefully go through right along the edges, right inside of them, and sand them out. Once both sides have been completed and carved to the best of your ability and the way you like it, you can take some silver spray paint and spray the blade. Don't worry about taping off the handle, because what's the point? You're going to be taping off the blade and painting the handle in just a minute. So just spray the blade. When you do tape the blade, tape around that triangle piece and all around the blade itself, just a couple inches down, so you can like angle the spray can away, just so you don't spray the blade. And paint the handle a bronzish color, a brown, black. I did a little brown and a little black. I think it looks cool. You can do whatever color you fancy. And then after that, you're done. There is the Kukri, Jacob Frye's Kukri. It was really fun making this. That's just one more weapon to add to the list. The previous weapon will be linked below, and the cosplay is increasing. It's really fun making these four.